I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to the alleged swinger, the drama starter, the man of the hour, Chase Mcwhorter, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Trash.
Hey, I made it.
You made it. You
Oh
finally
my
made
gosh.
it. You get requested all the time. And I hate telling you that because
Really?
I'm not trying to give you a
Yeah.
big head, but
Build me that ego. That's good to hear.
people really want to hear what Chase has to say, Chase's POV of everything. Because you
Yeah,
have a story too. You have your
totally.
side too.
I do.
And I need to dumpster deep dive you. And you've been begging.
I've literally been begging to have me on.
Yeah.
It took, year and a half? Because I saw you
Yeah.
at Corn Bellies last year. I was like, let me
Yeah.
come on. And you're like, nah. And
No,
so,
I was playing hard to get. I need to play hard to get with
yeah.
my guests. I have to make sure they really want it
Well,
before I have them come.
it worked.
And now you're here.
This is my Super Bowl.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped to ask you these questions. I told you I'm not going to go easy on you.
Better not.
And I don't let a lot of like single straight men come on my show. So you should feel very flattered.
I'm honored.
Very honored.
Yeah.
But just know I'm not going to go easy on you.
Let's go.
As a friend of Kate, I'm not going to go easy on you.
As a friend of Kate, I appreciate that.
Okay. Can I dumpster deep dive you?
Let's go.
All right, Chase, where are you from? Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Mcwhorter. You will never want to buy another blanket ever again. I would know because I've had lots of blankets, and ever since I got that one viral blanket that you see online, the Mcwhorter blanket, I am confidently telling you that it is the best blanket ever. Everyone needs to have something as cozy as Minky in their home. There's nothing quite like coming home after a long day and cuddling up with your Mcwhorter blanket. They are soft and luxurious, and it feels like a cuddling cloud. Okay, just cuddle it up. There's so many different types of blankets out there, but seriously, nothing compares to Mcwhorter. They have the largest selection of colors, sizes, and patterns on the market. They are the creator of the original Hugs blanket, a double-sided, stretchy, and plush style that literally hugs you back. I've never had a blanket that even comes close to my Minky Hugs. Mcwhorter is a female-owned business started by a mother who wanted to provide luxurious comfort to her daughter through a tough time. Since 2009, Mcwhorter has been able to bring comfort and luxury to homes all over the world. Passionate about giving back to the community, they donate over 30,000 mini Minkies to NICUs across the country every year. And lucky for you guys, I have partnered with Mcwhorter to bring this comfort and luxury into your home by offering listeners an exclusive 50% off discount. That's right, 50% off. Use your code WEEKLYTRASH at checkout for 50% off your next purchase on all full-priced items. You can use it in-store or online at softminkeyblankets.com. Again, use code WEEKLYTRASH for 50% off your next purchase and treat yourself to the best blanket ever. Follow them on Instagram for additional deals and updates at Mcwhorter. Thanks, Minky, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is also brought to you by the Ballard. It's a premier venue space in Draper, Utah. If you came to this year's season 4 party, then you saw how insanely gorgeous it is. The views are amazing. I loved it because you had like the inside that was all brand new, and then outside they have this huge deck patio that is covered, and you get a view of the whole valley and city. It's stunning. They also were so helpful. They made sure that the layout and the design of the party would run smoothly. They helped with setup and takedown. Overall, it was truly the best experience. I could not recommend the Ballard enough. Whether it's a wedding, an office party, a baby shower, a family event where you need a big, beautiful space, the Ballard is a hit. And they gave listeners a code for $250 off their 2026 event, and it's code WEEKLYTRASH. So take advantage of that, host an event, throw a party, have your wedding at the Ballard in Draper, Utah.
So I'm from Idaho.
Okay.
What
part?
Lived there, Rexburg.
Rexburg,
Good old
Idaho.
Rexburg, BYU, Idaho. Boring little town.
Okay.
Went to Madison High School. All my siblings did.
And you have 2 siblings, right?
3.
3.
I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
It goes me, my sister, Remy.
The younger sister too.
And then the youngest,
2 younger sisters.
Mason, and then
Okay.
Asia. So
Okay.
there's 4 of us. And then I've been down in Utah ever since basically my mission, but from Idaho.
From
Don't
Idaho.
plan on going back.
No plans.
No plans.
Kind of went back there for a minute, but we'll get there.
True.
So you're the oldest. What was your family dynamic growing up? Were you close to your siblings? Close to your parents?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think obviously Rexburg, pretty religious, very Mormon,
Yeah.
densely populated Mormon town. Was close with my parents. I feel like I was a little bit of a troublemaker, I think they would tell you.
Okay. How so?
Uh,
Drugs, alcohol,
no,
sex?
actually, none of those. I
Oh, just
never
bad grades?
even, no, actually, I got decent grades. My
Okay.
parents, I think, had a really, again, Rexburg, the bar was extremely high for morality because
Okay.
everyone's Mormon. I mean, that's how it was for me at least. All my friends were good kids too. Like they all went on missions. I never dabbled in any of that stuff before my mission. I actually didn't even drink till I was like 25.
Wait, really?
Yeah, never once.
Okay.
First time I did was probably with Taylor and all those guys
No
at
way.
yeah, yeah. I never ever drank. Okay, no, that's actually a lie. I drank on a cruise ship with Miranda after we were married.
Okay.
Got hammered. That was a terrible experience, and I just didn't like it because I felt terrible the next day. But yeah, never really drank. Was close with my brother Mace. Me and my sister Remy always had a little bit of a funny relationship. We're super close now, but we'd bicker.
Yeah.
And me and Mace, super close, despite he's 5 years younger than me, so a little bit younger.
Wait, that's a big age gap between all of like the other ones and you.
Yeah, so Remy's like 2.5 years, and then Mason's like 3 years after her, I think. So me and him are
Oh,
almost
why do
five
I
and a
always
half.
think Remy is younger than Mace?
Oh, really? Yeah,
But okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
little bit older. But then yeah, through high school, I think I was again, like my parents would tell you I was a rule breaker, but I'd be like the rule I was breaking was like curfew or like dating girls they didn't really want me to, maybe, but like never dabbled in any of the actual consequential shit.
Okay.
So I always give them a hard time now because I'm like, you actually gave me way too much slack for what I was actually doing.
Yeah. And
So
your parents are divorced, correct?
yes.
How old were you when that happened?
It was about a year before me and Miranda, so about 3 years ago. I was
Oh, so that was
27.
recent. Okay, then I don't
Yeah.
want to dive into that quite yet because I do want to talk about that
Okay.
dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay, so you were raised LDS.
hmm
You decided to go on a mission. Was that your choice or were you felt pressured to do that?
No, I mean it was my choice. All my friends were doing it. Like my cousins I looked up to did it, and I just kind of always planned on a mission. I remember leading up to it though, they changed the age to from 19 to 18, and that affected me by like a full year because I was young for my grade.
Yeah.
So I do remember putting my papers in and then getting the call, called to Madrid, Spain, which was so cool.
I went to Spain just barely. I loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Spain's the coolest country ever. I wish I could actually live there. But no, I wanted to go, and I liked my mission. I speak highly of it still. Met a lot of cool people. Actually, my cousin, who I was really close with in high school, ended up marrying one of my buddies from my mission. I kind of set them up. So,
No way. That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, I liked my mission. I thought it was a good time. I got to learn Spanish, despite it being the Theta Spanish.
Hmm.
The people here
It's
make
a little
fun of,
different. Yeah.
which it's actually the correct Spanish. So,
Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I liked it. I had a good time on my mission, and I was a good missionary.
Were you?
Yeah,
How many baptisms?
11, which in Spain is like
That's pretty good. Because
times that by
Catholic,
6.
like,
Yeah,
it's a big Catholic place. Like, people don't really want to be anything else.
no, it's Catholic if you're like over the age of 40, and then basically atheist after that. People just get sick of it over
Interesting.
there. Yeah,
Interesting. Okay, so when you were on your mission, did you know Miranda?
no,
No.
actually, funny story. My aunt who is really close, also lives in Rexburg. She would send me an email every Sunday and like
Yeah.
update me on all her kids, and I was close with them because they were my cousins. And she did send a picture one time of a date that my cousin Mitchell went on,
Okay.
and it was with Miranda. I think it was a dance, maybe it was prom or whatever, homecoming. And I was like, she's cute. I don't even know who that is. And no, but I didn't know her until after my mission.
Okay. Were you writing anyone while you were on your mission? Any high
I
school sweethearts or anything?
no, I left with a girlfriend. She quickly moved on. Which I was bummed about, like really sad. But no, I didn't really write any girls beyond that. If I remember correctly, I mean, I might have tried to shoot some emails over, but no one emails you on your mission. You don't exist, for
Yeah,
2 years.
you're
So
gone.
you're gone. You're out of
so
sight, out of mind. Once it's like 3 months left, they start to trickle back in. But
yeah.
never wrote Miranda.
So when you got home, what were your plans? To go to school, to work, summer sales? Were you ever a summer sales bro?
I was.
Oh, yeah, you
was.
give that energy,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
fell into that trope. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I do kind of give that energy.
Yeah, like a Vivint bro. Did you sell for Vivint?
No, it was actually a competitor.
Oh,
Yeah, my neighbors in Rexburg like all made a ton of money doing that. So they started
Yeah.
an ADT dealer, and I did that for like 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
But no, my plans were like go to school. I went to BYUI for like one semester
BYU,
before
Idaho?
BYU Idaho. Yeah, that
That's
was
fun.
a tough place to go to school. Didn't
Yeah.
love it. Uh, went down to Utah State after that for like 2 years, and that was when me and Miranda were dating because she was at Weber.
Okay.
So we're
And
like, yeah, close.
And were you interested in marriage? Like, did you want to do the typical missionary thing where you get home, you get married, you pop out babies? Like, was that the vibe you were wanting to, go towards?
No, I don't think. I remember being like, I don't want to get married fast. I want to date. I want to be single. And then I met Miranda. She was actually my very first date post mission.
Oh,
Like
okay.
2 weeks after I got home, we went on a date and we hit it off. And we didn't really start dating officially then because she was going down to school to Weber a semester earlier than I was going to Utah State. So it was going to be like a long distance thing. And, but no, I remember then I moved down to Utah State, started going to school, kind of reconnected with her, was kind of dating other people, as you've probably heard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and didn't want to get married, but I also just didn't want to lose Miranda because I really, really, really liked her. And so yeah, we kind of played that game for a while where we were really hot and cold, on and off. And I think eventually just got like, should we just get married? Because we were also like trying to follow the rules, like we actually were really, really good. We weren't trying to like mess up.
Were you messing up with other people?
No, not. I mean, not. I mean, we're gonna go bases here, I guess,
Yeah.
but like no home runs were being hit.
Okay. Okay. I,
You
I
know?
catch that drift. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so we ended up getting married. I mean, a year and a half after I got home. I remember being really stressed about the decision because I just felt so young,
Yeah.
and I was older than Miranda, so
How old were you?
I was 21, she was 19, young as hell, and it was kind of yeah. Looking back, I think we both agree now, me and Miranda, like we did that way too young, too
Yeah.
early. But such is life. When you're 21, you think you're old.
When you got married, in your brain, were you ever like, well, we could always get a divorce if it doesn't work out? Or were you like, no, this is going to work?
No, I definitely didn't foresee at that point. My parents weren't divorced.
Yeah. Did they have a healthy marriage? Like, did you grow up with like seeing a healthy, loving marriage?
They tried really hard, but they never liked each other from what I remember.
Really?
Like yeah, I don't think that they were a good match. I think that they also got married young. I think they had kids and they come from the generation before us where I think divorce was just so taboo and looked down upon. So I remember in high school being like, I don't think you guys really love this. But they tried, like to their credit, the reason they tried is for their kids.
Yeah.
And that's why when their kids were out of the house, I think that's when it kind of all dissolved and, they realized they didn't want to be together. But I don't think it was the healthiest marriage, but I obviously think there's some worse
Yeah.
marriages out there
Like
for
it
sure.
didn't affect the way you looked at marriage.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I do, well, maybe because I actually looked at Miranda and one of the first things I remember is just like thinking about how it was different with her than I felt like my parents were with each other. I was
Okay.
like, I'm actually like her friend. Like I actually really want to be around her. It's not just like a sexual chemistry and then after that,
It dies.
yeah. So I really liked that. So I think in a way it did affect me. Yeah.
Are you still close? I know you're really close with your mom. Are you close with your dad?
I would say not as close.
Okay.
He got remarried really quickly after he got divorced. And I think they both match each other in how bought in they are to like the church, for example.
Okay. So your dad's really religious.
Super religious. And my mom is too. They just do it in really different ways. But yeah, my dad and we text maybe a couple times a month.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally fine. I mean, it's touch and go, but
Is he in
my
Idaho?
mom, yeah, he's in Rexburg.
Okay.
So I just don't see him as much because yeah, they're a little bit ways away. The woman that he married has like 7 kids.
Oh, so you have 7 step siblings.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Do you know any, like, are you not close, but like, do you have their phone numbers?
Not all of them. No, I have a couple
Okay.
of them. I've met them all. They're all cool. They're super nice. I mean,
Okay.
it's a ton of kids. But yeah, so it's a little bit interesting with that
That
dynamic.
is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, are they like older?
Yeah, most of them are. I think they're all
Like they're out of the house?
out of the house. Well, there's
Okay.
one that's my youngest sister's age. I
Okay.
think like around 18. So
Okay.
yeah,
Crazy. That's
a lot of kids. It's crazy.
That's a lot. Okay. So you get married really young. You're already kind of nervous and stressed about it.
Mm-hmm.
What was that first year like? And what were you doing career-wise? Because yeah, what were your plans and goals? You said you went to school for a year and then
Yeah.
did you immediately go to summer sales when you guys got engaged, or when did that come into
Yeah.
play?
Yeah. Actually, like right after we got married, went out and did my first summer. Actually, no, I did one summer before that while we were dating.
Okay.
Um,
Where at? Where'd you go?
Chicago.
Oh, that's not bad. Sometimes
Chicago.
people
Yeah, I
get
actually thought
really
it was
crappy
really
places.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really liked Chicago. And then came back, we got engaged, got married, and then went out and did summer sales for about every summer for like 4 years after that until she got pregnant. And my plans were like, I want to finish school, but I don't really know what I want to do. So I'm just going to do this until I figure that out. Pretty typical summer sales
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Yeah.
And that just kind of segued into going into sales, which is what I've been in ever since.
Well, and summer sales is nice because you make a good amount of money in a really short
Yeah,
time period, and then you can like go home. But it's hard because you're separated from your spouse for, because like,
totally.
did Miranda come with you when you guys were married?
Yeah, she did. She came every time,
But like, you're gone all
all
day
day.
long. And summer sales has been known to like ruin marriages. Like, it's a lot to take on first married, because the first
Yeah.
year when you're still trying to get in the hang of things, do you feel like it was hard on you guys, or was your first year fine?
I felt like the first year was awesome with me and Miranda.
Okay.
I really do. She was super supportive. Miranda's like the most low key, easy to like get along with. Like she's
Yeah.
so like low maintenance too. And so like yeah, she was a trooper about it. I understand. I mean, obviously every time we moved out, I thought she was a little bummed because you're just like we moved to Texas or we moved to
Hmm.
Denver. And there's wives that they're friends with, but they're also like uprooting,
Yeah.
where they live and they don't really have like a schedule. So it was tough for her, but she was always super cool. I thought our relationship was great. We'd watch shows together a lot. I mean, we went through Breaking Bad, like a bunch of really good shows, and I like look back on that pretty fondly, but it's a tough thing on relationships for sure. I don't think it's ideal.
But that wasn't like a part of your relationship that you would consider like a hard time in your
No,
relationship at
no,
all.
I don't think so.
So you guys were married for how long before you had Brooks? Wait, do you say his name? Am I allowed to say his name?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't,
We don't.
some people want
We
to keep the kids'
no.
names
Yeah, for
private.
sure. Some people do. I don't think we care. Brooks was 2019, so we've been married for 5 years or 4 years.
Oh, that's a long
4
time
years.
to be married. Was there a
Mm-hmm.
reason you guys wanted to wait that long because you were so young? Like, what was the reasoning to wait? And then why did you guys just finally decide to get pregnant, or was that an accident?
Wait, I did the math wrong. Sorry.
Okay.
I got home from my mission in 2015. Didn't get married in 2017 is when we got married. So two
Okay.
years.
Okay. I was like, 5 years? That's a long time for Utah.
Yeah. Sorry, I did that
Okay.
wrong. So
Two
2
years.
years.
2 years. Okay. That makes more sense.
I feel like
Two or
I'm
three.
saying this wrong. 2 or 3.
Two or
But
three.
yeah, I don't think we wanted kids immediately. We definitely weren't like we need to have kids really soon. But then what happened was, um, this is the same thing with Brooks and Cohen. Is we got to the point where Miranda's like, I'm ready to
Yeah.
like maybe start trying and see, how that goes. Cause you never know. Like maybe your
Yeah.
fertility journey takes a long time. And I literally think both times, the very first time we tried, she got pregnant.
Okay.
So it was just like, well, shit, now we're pregnant. Like, cool, which
And
we're stoked
relationship
about
was
it.
good and healthy when you guys got
Yeah, I
pregnant.
thought it was really good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you might say differently, but I thought it was.
And there was no infidelity. There was no parts of you that were like, am I 100% faithful?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there was like, because we got married super fast, there was a situation where there was a girl that was a part of the picture that kind of kept reemerging.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to the extent where like, was it cheating? I mean, everyone defines that differently. I feel like me and Miranda were super good. I don't think there was like, I saw her. We were living in proximity too, so Miranda wasn't stoked about that. But to the extent where it was like, were we messing around, anything physically or in no. It
But
was just,
emotionally.
she texted me, yeah, that stuff. Yeah, she did. Miranda did find out that I was talking to her once, and she didn't love that because obviously I think this girl's intent was to uh
Most girls' intent, if they're talking to a married man,
yeah, it wasn't great.
and a
And
married
so
man shouldn't be talking to any
totally,
girl.
totally. And so yeah, but like again, it was something where we kind of once we moved away from her, didn't see her at the gym anymore, run into her, it wasn't really a thing.
But did you have like wandering eyes at all? Like, were you interested? Like, did you ever think like, maybe I could do this to Miranda?
Oh no, I don't think I was ever out of that like context. It was more. I remember being young and thinking like, damn, like we got married super young for sure. I thought that basically when we got married, I remember actually the day of our wedding. I think leading up to it, I was the one that was like, oh, this is fast. Because we got engaged, by the way, in March, beginning of March, married in May. So it was like quick turnaround. And I remember thinking the whole time that it was a little bit fast. And then it wasn't until the day of our wedding where like it flipped to where I was like, I feel good about this. Let's do it. And Miranda was like, oh, I have cold feet. So I
Okay.
think we both had our hesitations. Looking back, I know that we would do it differently. Obviously, I'm grateful that we did it. Wouldn't have our kids without it. And I think Miranda's like the best
She's the
ever.
best.
She for sure married down. She knows that too.
But if Miranda would have been talking to a man when you guys were married, same situation that you were doing with Jane Doe, that's what we'll call her, Jane Doe.
Sure.
How would
Yeah.
that affect you? Would that have been considered cheating to you?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Same exact thing. Would
Yeah.
have been the same thing. Wouldn't have been cool. Wasn't okay. Wasn't a good spouse for that by any means. So yeah, totally.
That was like the first like strike and like
Yeah, I
not,
guess so. Yeah.
not being like the best.
First best husband.
Yeah, best husband
Yeah.
right there.
Totally.
But you guys work through it, you get to a good spot, and you decide to have a baby.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's sweet Brooks, cutie. I love the
Oh,
name
he's the
Brooks, as you
best-
know.
I know. Yeah.
We had
best kid
4
ever.
Brookses at my son's birthday party the other day. So
It was. It was
a lot of it's a
party.
very popular name.
It is.
Brooks is a very popular
It
name.
is popular. Yeah.
So Brooks comes into the life, and what was that like being a dad?
Best thing ever. He
Yeah.
was the cutest kid. Yeah, best. Like Miranda was the best mom. Brooks was literally the easiest kid ever. She'd sit here and probably be like, well, yeah, because she was doing the hard stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was awesome. Like the best ever. And as he got older, it just got better. I'm not a big, I think newborns are cool, but like 8, 9 months is when I start to get really excited because they start to, sit up and have a personality. But
Yeah, they're not just a
yeah,
blob.
it was so fun. So fun. That was like probably my favorite time of our whole marriage was when
Really?
Brooks was a little guy. Yeah.
So then how far apart are Brooks and Coco?
Almost exactly 2 years.
Okay, so you guys got pregnant with Coco pretty quickly.
It was the same thing.
Same thing.
Where
just
she's like, you know what, we should try and see, and it was just like pregnant.
pregnant.
So
And at this point, are you friends with Taylor and that group?
yeah. Uh-huh.
How did that friendship start?
Miranda and Taylor did like a photo shoot somewhere and kind of hit it off. And then they're like, oh, we're both married and our husbands maybe would get along. And we all went to Olive Garden. We
Go to
like
Olive Garden when you're here, your family.
Yeah,
You guys took it
we
seriously.
went to the OG. Like nothing bad happens at Olive Garden. But
Yeah.
yeah, we just hit it off really quick. We were actually about to leave again for the summer.
Okay.
So I remember we clicked, and obviously when you're married, like finding married friends that you both get along with equally is hard.
Yeah.
And so like we were stoked because we were like, they're so cool. That was so fun. But then we were leaving for the summer, so we kept in contact with them until we came back and then started hanging out with them again.
Okay. Was Camille and Sam in the group yet?
Way later, no.
Way later.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were
So
later.
you 4 were like the OG friends.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. We go back. I mean, 2019 probably. I'm trying to think. Yeah. 2019. Cause I remember we met them before Brooks was born, and
Okay.
Indy was like newborn. So
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah.
So when you guys are friends, were there any like weird vibes? Like, did you feel confident in your marriage? Was everything good? There was no like flirtatiousness between the 4 of you?
No, I mean, I think right in the beginning, again, we hadn't been married super long, so there was no, I don't think there was any sort of weirdness at all. They seemed super happy. I think we seemed super happy. And yeah, no like discussions of anything that were weird was going on at first at all.
Just a
We were all-
normal.
Well, me and Miranda
normal
were at,
friendship.
at this point too, we're still like pretty bought into the whole like church.
The
We were
church?
still going. I mean, we weren't super active, but like I wasn't drinking and
Yeah.
we were trying with that. So yeah, we were like I think pretty locked in.
Pretty locked in.
Yeah.
There wasn't any wandering eyes there.
I wasn't falling in love with Taylor.
Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure. So obviously everyone wants to know then, how did the swinging conversation start?
Totally. Great question.
Your POV on
My
how that
POV,
happened.
yeah.
Because what's so crazy is I tell everyone all the time, like Miranda was my first real guest on this podcast.
Oh,
And
really?
she came on like 2 weeks after everything kind of blew up.
Holy cow.
And
Yeah.
at that point, it was deny, deny, deny.
Totally.
Like nothing happened.
Yes.
But now we know that obviously there was more to that.
Sure.
So your point of view, who initiated that conversation?
I think what happened was it was actually around the time that COVID started. So like if you
Okay.
remember, everything was shut down. Obviously, we're not doing anything. And then we realized like there's these you could get an Airbnb that was really nice for super cheap because no one was doing Airbnbs.
Yeah.
And so it was Taylor's husband, I think, that proposed the idea, like, why don't we just pick a weekend, have our kids be watched so that we can go like just have fun for a couple days. And like there's hot tub and completely like no ill intent at all. It wasn't like we should turn this into a swinger party. It was more just like, let's go up there. And at this point, I think we kind of dabbled with drinking a little bit
Okay.
because we did bring up drinks to it. And I remember that was the first few times we literally drank like we were in college, like sorority girls. We were just getting way too hammered because again, we were all pretty infantilized from
Yeah.
the Orthodox religion. I mean, I never drank. Miranda drank like once or twice in high school. So we got pretty drunk, and I think from there, initially, it wasn't even really a discussion. It was more just like kind of flirty, like, oh, take your shirt off. Like, whoa, what's that gonna? And then it's just kind of like, where does the line come up? And then before you know it, Miranda and Taylor are kissing, and it's just like, oh, this is kind of weird, kind of cool. Like, I don't know, like like anyone. But it wasn't like we sat down and we're like, hey, do you guys want to swing?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to like fuck around and switch partners? Because first of all, you can ask Taylor this. I've never, we played spin the bottle a few times. That's kind of how it started too, as we started
Okay.
doing stuff like spin the bottle. And
And
again,
did you ever feel uncomfortable? Like at any point were you like, I don't think this is good for my marriage? Or were you like, hell yeah, I'm about to get some action. I get to see my wife kiss a hot girl. Like, fuck yeah.
probably a mixture of both. Because it was like, I
Okay.
was like, I don't think in the time I would have been like, this is great for our marriage
Yeah.
to do this. Like, this is awesome. But I also thought, like, again, like anyone else, a few shots in, it was like, this is kind of cool. Never did this ever, and now we're learning kind of in real time the consequences of it. But yeah, it was just like our weekends got more and more drunk. And I think from there, at that point too, there was, I mean, I remember hearing relationship issues were going on from those, from their
Other people, yeah.
relationship. I would confide in Tate or Taylor because we were over there all the time during the week too, just doing DoorDash nights. And we'd have open discussions about like what was what was hard about marriage or like postpartum, like how is it's a struggle to maintain like maybe the physical intimacy because she's recovering and is coming out of being pregnant and maybe doesn't feel her best and like all of those things that are very normal. And so I think we justified it by going to these cabins and getting sloshed, and then decision making went south, obviously. But it was just kind of like a progression of making the line a little further.
Yeah.
It was never like an open. I mean, I even laugh now because people are like, dude, how are those swinger parties? And I was like, dude, you can ask anyone that went to them. No one would have gone had it been labeled a swinger party.
Yeah.
Like all these people were like happy in their relationship from what I thought. So it was never advertised as such, which is where me and Miranda's issue with the way that Taylor broadcasted it came about, because that was just, I think, a misrepresentation of the total group.
The group as a whole. But do you think looking back now that having that friendship with another group and talking about such like personal, intimate details of your marriage is healthy?
I mean, I don't think that I think it leads to potentially making bad decisions, but like
Not even
I think
swinging, but just like some things about your relationship should probably stay between
sure,
you guys.
yeah, totally. I think I would agree with that. I do think there's a time like if you have a really good married couple friend, like, and you guys talk about like real stuff like that, I don't think you have to then. I don't think you'll then make the mistakes of swinging.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, yeah, there's some looking back, like we probably could have kept some of our stuff with us,
Yeah.
and conversely them with them. Because yeah, it ended up resulting in, what it did.
So the thing that kind of snowballed everything from what I am aware of is when you had come up to Taylor at the gym and told her about a dream. Tell your side of the story. What happened there?
So first and foremost, Taylor came up to me at the gym first about a dream. She was the first
Okay.
one to say that she had a sex dream about me. And I think if you called her right now, she'd agree with that. Um, yeah, she
Should
came
we
up to
call her?
me.
I'm just
Should
kidding. I
call her.
won't call her
She's
right now.
on set probably.
She's busy.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I remember being like, "Oh, kind of like, how was your dream?" And she's like, "Yeah, you know how it was." And I was like, "Oh." And then she like her thing now is like that's all it was. Like it wasn't a advance,
Yeah.
which is like totally
Because
fair.
at that point, what was the furthest you guys had done? Like
Spin
having
the
sex
bottle.
in the same room?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess. So I think that like spin the bottle where I kiss someone, I kissed Taylor physically.
Yeah.
I think that's further than like me having sex with my wife and then they are over there and it's just me and Miranda. Like I think
Right.
personally like the physical crossing is where it gets a little bit more serious.
But you saw her naked.
But I mean, yeah, I saw her. I think, yeah, I saw her naked. She was, I mean, the lights were off, but like
Yeah.
we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
For sure, like shouldn't have been doing that. But yeah, that was all that it was. And like a week or two after that, I told Taylor that I kind of had a sex dream about you. Total mistake. Shouldn't have done it. What was then I mean, I can tell you my side of this
Yeah,
if
I
you
want to
want.
hear. That's why you're here.
So at this point in time, I had no idea. No one had any idea that the other couple from
Hmm.
that really, all that was going on that actually did swing or switch, whatever you want to call it. There was like text messages, conversations going on in between him and Taylor. And to the extent of what was being said, I don't know. But we learned that, after everything comes out. Um, I remember learning that his spouse started to realize, like, get a little different vibe, like, what's going on? Maybe a little bit off. Phone password changes, like, turning the phone upside
Yeah.
down more frequently. So she apparently went to, and she's told me and Miranda this. She went over to Taylor's house because they lived within a block of each other, and she knocked on the door, or maybe she called her. I don't know. But she reached out to Taylor and said, "Hey, is there anything going on? Because I feel like he's been acting a little different." And Taylor said, "No, but you know what did happen is Chase told me that he has a crush on me, whatever, at the gym." And I think personally it was, I mean, to kind of just misdirect.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think what I said at Taylor at the gym, because I did say the sex dream thing, but the thing that she said, where I came up to her and said, "Hey, I have a crush on you," or "I fell in love with you," or "I am in love with you," whatever it is. I've heard it said a bunch of different ways.
Hmm.
That conversation, I mean, my side of it was, we had just had another cabin party. This was one of those where those two couples did switch.
Okay.
And I think it was the first time because I remember I was in the kitchen with a couple other people. We were all hanging out down there. That's where the party was, drinking. And then those four went upstairs. And we were like, all right, I guess seems consensual,
Yeah.
good to go. And then really quickly, two of them came downstairs. And probably 5 minutes later, so we were like, oh. And you could tell something didn't go great. I ran upstairs, opened the door, and Taylor and her ex-husband are arguing. And so I remember just like, oh, this is weird. Anyways, the next day, drove home and I actually went over to their house and I remember they were, having an argument about marriage stuff. But again, I at this point realized, hey, I think we've gone off the rails a bit and I think that this is going to be a net negative for everyone. Way too late to have discovered that, obviously, but the conversation was like, hey, this is maybe not the best idea. We might have, ventured into uncharted territory here. I remember telling her at the gym, like the next day, because I saw her all the time at the gym, just like, hey, just so you know, like, I think that, like, I wasn't trying to make it seem like you guys were just necessarily at fault. I think if me and Miranda were messing around in that same capacity, like, I could develop feelings for you or Miranda for your ex-husband or XYZ. And so to have that contorted into what it was, I think was intentionally done on her end, not really to spite me, but to misdirect it from her uh, being suspected as, like, maybe she's talking to in an inappropriate way. And so she goes, no, but Chase told me he has a crush on me. Well, come to find out, someone else had told her that he had a crush on her. It wasn't me, though. It was the other guy in that group. So my whole
Okay.
thing was like, when this happened, I was like, oh, okay. I think I was the fall guy.
But like, did you have a crush on her?
No, no. Me and Taylor, half the time, like that Halloween party when you saw us arguing, that was like the fourth time we've gotten in a heated argument like that. The first one, ironically, was at her house, and it was about Justin Bieber. which that came full circle when I came dressed as him as Halloween and then got in a fight. Um, we argued about politics. We argued about religion. So me and Taylor, I never have ever thought would be a good couple in any capacity. Do I think she's pretty? Yes. I mean, anyone does. Most of the girls that hung out in that group were pretty, but that's different than saying you have a crush on them. And I just, I've maintained throughout my divorce too. Now, where I'm not saving
Are you
anything.
legally divorced?
Oh no, we're not divorced. We're working on that.
Okay.
But we're also not like the only reason we aren't is because we're just been lazy with it.
Okay.
We've obviously been dating. But no, I think through the whole thing, and now I'm like, I'm not saving anything by saying no. Like, I don't know what there is. I'll own up to whatever I need to own up to, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had a crush on Taylor. I just never thought, again, I knew Taylor, I think, super, super well from a friend stance. I'd seen her in a ton of different environments. I'd seen how her marriage was with Tate. I'd never thought me and Taylor would be a good match, ever, ever. And she would agree. Like, I just don't think it's like oil and water. Probably be, I think we both have the same weaknesses when it comes to uh, conflict resolution. And we learned that by having arguments with each other. So, yeah, my thing is I never did. Me and Taylor have talked about it. I think that it kind of where it lies is like, well, I felt you said this, or I kind of came off as this. And it's like, okay, that's fair. I'm not going to dispute that because, that's not what I meant. And she'll say the same thing. So I feel like we got to a good place with it, but there was a lot of he said, she said.
Okay. So everything comes out. Taylor tells her POV on the live.
Mm-hmm.
What's going through yours and Miranda's head? Like, what's going on behind closed doors? Because, like I said, she came on the podcast and was like, nothing happened. So, like, were you guys like, okay, this is the game plan. This is
Yeah.
what we're going to do. Like, what was it feeling like back at home?
So for me and Miranda, I was at work that day, actually at lunch with my boss. I remember I was at Saffron Valley eating Indian food.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, it burned into my brain because that was obviously pretty like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And the immediate reaction was, as two on PR trained people will, was deny, deny, deny. And I think what's funny is the reason that we went deny, deny, deny is because we, at the time, our parents had no idea that we were drinking, that there was even parties that we were going to where there was anything going on that was below the belt. I think initially the fear was like, oh, we come from very Mormon families. This is going to look really bad. I remember my first thought was like, my parents are going to fucking kill me, or they're going to think that I am just the worst person. And so initially it was like, oh no, we didn't. And our rationale was like, well, we technically weren't switching.
Yeah.
And so we're like, we aren't swingers, but like me and Miranda have said for the longest time, what we did wrong was say like, we didn't do anything. What we should have done is just own up to what we did do, which was like, hey, we are drinking, we are playing spin the bottle, we are doing this, we are in the same bed. But like at the same time, the reason we didn't do that is because our parents would have heard that almost as bad, the same thing basically as swinging. Because again, they don't drink. My parents have never had a drop of alcohol in their lives. I don't think hers have either. So initially, it was more of like a protecting our religion or like our optic
Image.
with it. Yeah, image.
Yeah.
And so I really quickly learned that was the wrong thing to do. And Taylor obviously took issue with it, as was her right, because it's like, okay, from her perspective, dude, you're pretty much just as involved, you know. So yeah, I mean, we didn't handle that the right way at all. We should have handled it completely differently. But again, growing up in a super Orthodox religion from a small town where me and Miranda are from, like people were talking like this really, really quickly. And so back then, I think we cared a lot about optic and yeah, tried to put out a fire. And it just ended up burning us more.
And you guys ended up moving to that small town where everyone's talking.
Yeah.
What was that decision factor? Like, why'd you choose to go back to that place? If it is, what you say it is, it's like, oh, it's everyone's talking and it's a bubble. And was it to be by family?
No, actually, it was completely job related. So like, I didn't want to move back to Idaho, but obviously during that time there was so much going on. Miranda was like basically postpartum with Cohen, and so that's obviously hard. And this whole thing was just exacerbating how hard it was. And so I remember I have a cousin who was starting to, DSO. My dad's been in dentistry for a long time. So it was like basically like, hey, go help them out, be a sales guy for that. But the contingency was moving back to Idaho, and it wasn't necessarily to be around family, because I really don't like. I didn't want to move there. I
Yeah.
don't really like Idaho. Utah's, more, I think, a good place for us. But we did it for 1 year. We knew it would be temporary, but we also were like, this might give us a good break from all the craziness.
Yeah.
So it kind of was two birds, one stone. But yeah, we weren't trying to get closer to family. It just so happened that that's where we had to go for that little job thing for a little bit.
And in Idaho, is that when the conversation of divorce came up?
Yeah, I think for the first time we were a little bit confronted with the idea, maybe the reality of divorce, and it wasn't solely because of the Taylor swinger stuff. It was actually I at this time had begun my deconstruction process where I was like, I think I'm stepping away from this. And that was difficult for Miranda to rationalize at first, because we did have the idea of raising our kids within the church. And I think, like most people that leave the religion, if you're like me, I was angry with it for a while. So like I didn't have a lot of great things to say about the religion. I felt like I was way too argumentative about my other people around me that still wanted to believe that. So it was hard because it created a little bit of a distance between me and her family, because her dad's very, very Orthodox, very faithful guy. Like he lives it, loves it. And I had a couple arguments with him about it, which was not a great look. Um, and it created a distance between that. And so that was hard for Miranda because her family is just her, like she will do anything for her family. And they're really close. So yeah, I think that's kind of when it was like, all right, if there's going to be these ideological differences on top of the fact that Miranda's, got some strikes against me, I think, do we just, rip out the carpet, we pull out the rug? We kind of started to imagine, I think, talk about doing that.
Okay, besties, listen up. If you're ready for fall wardrobe, you need to check out Bohm. I'm not kidding, I'm obsessed. Their denim actually fits like a dream. Their dresses are perfect for literally any vibe. And the sweaters, don't even get me started. Cozy, cute, and so easy to style. Bohm just dropped their new arrivals and it's giving main character energy for your fall fits. So dress them up for dinner, keep it casual for errands. These pieces do it all. And of course, I've got you. Use code TRASHER20 at bohm.com for 20% off. Go add everything to your cart now and thank me later because these pieces won't be in stock for long. Again, that's TRASHER20 for 20% off at bohm.com. And thanks, Bohm, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is also brought to you by Betty's. Okay, mamas, listen up because I have a life hack for you. Are you tired of fighting your kids to make their beds? Say hello to Betty's, okay? The unique design lets your kids make their bed with just a zip. I would know because I have one for Bentley and I have one for Brooks, and you sure as heck bet I'm going to get one for Banks when he has a big boy bed because it has made my life so much easier. They have a patented bedding that includes everything you need: fitted sheet, top sheet, and comforter in one seamless piece that zips together. My kids love feeling accomplished, and your kids will love it too when they can make their bed all by themselves every single day. Make your mornings easier and visit beddys.com. That's BEDDYS.com. And you can use code TRASH for 25% off your order. They are great for hard to make beds like bunk beds, RVs, etc., or for anyone that just wants better habits, because the day is better when you start it making your bed. So discover the joy of hassle-free mornings and the satisfaction of independence for your kids with Betty's Revolution Betty Solution. Again, that's beddys.com. Use code TRASH for 25% off your order. And thank you, Betty's, for sponsoring today's episode.
But we didn't want to just, immediately do it. I think we wanted to try and make it better. But yeah, that's kind of when this conversation started.
So other than kissing Taylor that one time, did you ever physically cheat on Miranda when you guys were married?
No.
Never physically cheated.
Never did.
Did you emotionally cheat other than that one time?
Yeah.
With multiple people or the same person?
I think two other people.
And how did that start?
I think just interacting with people on, whatever it was, someone DM me or something, entertaining that, or pretty sure it was just DMs.
Was this after the swinging scandal or before? Or one before and one after?
Both after.
Both after.
Yeah.
What do you think made you want to do that?
Um, I don't know. I think it was obviously it's not something that's awesome to own up to because it's like the
But I
worst thing
appreciate you
ever.
owning up to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I told you, I was like, I'm going to ask
no, you
all
should.
the things.
Yeah, you should. And like I said about like the reason why I think people can believe that I didn't tell Taylor I love her is because like I'll tell you that I cheated on my wife.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll own up to what I did. And so like, yeah, the emotional affairs I think happened. I think, um, I don't even know. I don't remember thinking like, oh, I need to do this. It was more just like, probably a bad impulse and just like, oh, this is innocent. And then before you know it, you're like, it's probably gray area. This is not something that I should be doing.
Were they married?
I'm not. I won't say that.
Okay.
But
Do their partners know?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. I live in ignorance on that one.
Okay. But like the emotional side, are we talking emotional with sexting? Are we talking emotional with venting to each other? Like, what is an
Yeah.
emotional affair to Chase Mcwhorter?
I think just any conversation that's not something you'd show your wife. It's probably cheating.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think it was always just like sexting. For sure wasn't the case because I don't feel like I'm very well equipped for that. But
Okay.
I remember just stuff that like Miranda would find or whatever see on an iPad, and it was like, oh, that's not cool.
Did you own up to it or did you gaslight her?
I mean, maybe I tried to gaslight her at first, but it was pretty hard to run from that one. I obviously owned up to it, but
Eventually.
yeah.
But you were there times where you'd be like, no, that's crazy, crazy. But then you keep doing it?
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't think I felt terrible every time too because I'm like, Miranda's the best person ever.
She
I will
is.
always say that.
Yeah.
Take it to my grave. She deserved way better. She still deserves way better. And so, yeah, I mean, wasn't cool. Not something I'm proud of. And obviously, it wasn't ready for marriage. I should have, been more calculated with that. But at the same time, I can't blame youth on it. People get married young all the time and don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So it was just immaturity.
Well, and I've heard you say, like, we were kids. You guys were 24 when you guys were swinging?
Yeah.
Like, you were young and dumb, but you had children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I still think that kids, especially if you grow up super, super LDS, I think there's an infantilization part of it where it's like you are a kid because I don't think that you have a ton of
Experiences?
experience outside of what you're used to. And so that's kind of what it's more in reference to. Like, I think we
Okay.
should be held accountable like adults, 100%. But it was more like, I think the maturity of how to handle situations around alcohol, for example, was that of a child because it was like our first time. And I think if you're just not in a hyper religious environment, like you kind of make those mistakes when you're 18, 19 in college. And yeah, I think we made those at 24, 25 when we had kids due to the, just us deciding not to do that until we were a little bit older.
So when you guys are in Idaho, you got the three strikes. You had three strikes.
Yeah, eventually got to 3 strikes.
Three strikes, all the pressure of just like the scandal, all the things. You guys decided to get divorced. Was it more Miranda who wanted that divorce?
I think we entertained the idea of it
Because why
mutually.
would you want a divorce? Because
Oh
you wanted to be
no.
free? Because you
No, I
wanted to
mean
be able to
I
have sex with other people?
no, I think it was more like especially once you deconstruct religion, for me, I all of a sudden realized like I don't necessarily believe in this like celestial kingdom anymore, whatever it is.
Right.
I'm actually now don't know what I believe. And I actually might think that like this is all there is. So like therefore, if we have a huge gap in what we believe, I might not be the right guy for you. Like you might need a better person that's more fit for your lifestyle. And it was more of just like, hey, do we like I always knew we'd be really good co-parents because again, Miranda and I have always been super good friends. And so it was more of like, do we just want to do this? And I think it was entertained. I think I might have brought it up first. Miranda was eventually the one that was like, you know what? No, I want to be done. And I remember being like, wait, really? Like, you don't want to try one more? And she's like, no, I'm out. And I was like, fuck. So yeah, she definitely was the one that decided to.
What was the final straw for her?
Um, we had moved back to Utah at that time. I do remember that we were fighting more than we had ever fought. I think it was just more frequent. Bickering was at an all-time high, and I think it was just like, you know what, let's just not do this for the kids. Because there was a lot of times where the kids were around
Right.
and she was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this because I don't want Brooks and Cohen to grow up in an environment where their parents are just screaming at each other. It's not how you want to do it for your kids. And it was the right move because ever since, I think we've had like 3 arguments and they're all just because Miranda's always late. That's basically the only thing
That's
we
it.
argue about
Okay.
now. Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
can you fucking get here on time?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mountain Miranda time's a little bit different than, well,
Mountain Miranda time.
the actual time. But yeah, I think that, I think it was just that. There was just like a culmination of a bunch of things on top of the fact that she didn't want to be like fighting. And we also, at that point, my parents had already started the divorce process and they fucking hate each other and still do. And it's because I think they held on to it too long. They're both great people and they found better matches for themselves. But me and Miranda were like, we're not doing that. We're not going to
gonna end up like
exhaust
that.
this to the point where I resent you.
Yeah. Valid. So you guys start the process. You guys haven't finished it yet. Do you think you will?
Yeah.
Do you ever see a world in which you would get back together with Miranda?
No, we're so much better
Or
as
if
co-parents.
Miranda would ever want to have you back? That's
She
the
wouldn't.
real question.
It's actually not even probably up to me.
That's the real question. It's not.
Miranda would never go back to me. Don't worry, guys. She wouldn't do that. But also, no, I think we're just better we're friends. We're better friends. I think Miranda's one of the prettiest people ever. I think she's one of the greatest people I've ever met. She's the best mom I've ever met. It's not even close. And I'll get emotional if I bring that up. But she's a really good mom. And yeah, I might need those. But no, she's the best. And I love that we have such a good relationship because I don't know. Sometimes I don't think my kids even know that we're divorced. They know that I live in a different place.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, mom and dad, like I mow her lawn every week. And I grab shit out of the fridge, like
it's a healthy
I love the way
dynamic,
that we've made it work. She does deserve way better, and I think she'll find that. She's she's just smart. She's careful about who she puts her energy into. So I have no doubt that she'll find the right person, but I don't think it was me.
Well, let's talk about finding the right person for you, because you've had quite the up and down relationship with Kate.
Yeah.
We've seen it online. It's pretty toxic.
Yeah.
But I want to hear your POV because I've only heard Kate's. So let's discuss.
Kate, there's some details in there that I was like, yo.
Yeah. So first and foremost, have you ever cheated on Kate?
I Snapchatted a girl once when we were together, and I did kiss a girl, yeah.
And was that something she found out later? Did you tell her right after?
She found out.
She found out. That sucks.
It does
That's
suck.
a hard pill to swallow.
Totally, especially like at 4th or 5th offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
So when you start dating Kate, as she said, you guys went full throttle into fucking 69 and all the things. She gave us those details.
It's Kate.
That you guys had a really good time.
Could have left that out, but yeah.
Yeah. You guys had a great time. Were you seeing other people at that time too? Like, were there other girls that you were developing feelings for?
When I met Kate, it was probably 3 months after my divorce. I had dated other girls. But no, I think as soon as I met Kate, which was ironically downtown at Lake Effect, we were both hammered. Thought she was so cute, got her number, and then I think a week later or something, asked her on a date to go to Topgolf with my brother, and he brought a girl. And immediately was like, this is the coolest girl. She's so fucking funny. She's crazy. And I just loved it. I thought she was awesome. She made me laugh. So no, I think I was pretty much locked into just talking to Kate as soon as we met. Yeah, I think so.
So then what changed to make you want to cheat?
I think, well, after we talked a lot, hanging out a lot, really quickly we're like, dude, no, this is my girlfriend. And she kind of was like, should we make it official? And I was like, you know what? She had been divorced at that point for like 4 months. I was 3. And so it was so early. I don't think either of us intended to like find a relationship. So it was almost like we stumbled into it. But then, yeah, we started dating, and I mean, I think same shit. It was mostly like there was this girl that had been Snapchatting me before, and she was of her own volition sending photos and videos and stuff, and I'm, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. And I think, yeah, she did, and I kind of like, whatever, responded, and then Kate saw it. And so she's like, first of all, you need to get rid of Snapchat. You're 29. That's like pedophile shit. And I was like,
Valid.
yeah, that's fair. So I did. No more Snapchat. And then the other one was very inebriated state. There's actually a whole backstory to that. But like,
Oh, please share.
I mean, I was under the impression that this girl was at the very least bisexual, gay, kind of what I
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
Kind of a homie. I'd seen her at some parties. We were talking about her family and some stuff, and I had to charge my car. And so we're just chilling. And there had been some, leave that out. But like, yeah, altered state of mind. And
Mhm.
so we like, I remember like kissed for a sec, and I was like, that was weird. I don't even know if it might have made her feel weird because I
And
thought
you were
she liked
dating Kate at the
girls.
time.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this like cycle. Sorry to interrupt, but before I forget this thought, you have a lot of female friendships that to me seem pretty inappropriate when you're dating someone. Do you feel that way? Do you think it's
Um,
okay to have these like deep, intellectual, intense friendships with women when you're committed to another woman? And where you're alone with them when you're in a car charging a phone,
yeah. I mean,
intoxicated?
probably not. Probably not. Probably not the best move.
But like you continue to do that. You continue we had this talk on the phone. You want to be friends with exes and you want to have friendships with women that you've been intimate with. But is that like healthy when you're trying to be in a committed relationship with someone else? Not saying you are right now, you're single right now, but
Sure.
like in past relationships, you've been in inappropriate situations with people and they're single or not single
Yeah.
and things escalate.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think that in the capacity that I've been in those maybe relationships, it's appropriate probably. I know that like, and again, this one, the chick in the car, like we're not even that close of friends. I just seen her in the party scene, and again,
That makes it
total
almost
mistake.
worse.
Sure, totally. Yeah, the whole backstory there. I'm not gonna say it makes me
Okay.
look any better, but I think what is difficult is that, yeah, I do have like some female friends that I do consider platonic 100%, and they're not sexual. I don't think there's anything below belt going on. I think what's hard for me is that, like, I think if you zoom out, for me at least, I look at someone like Kate, who we're broken up now. I think it was toxic in the end, and I was just as much a contributor to that as she was. Um, Probably a period of time needs to exist where we're not talking. I know you've been a proponent of that for a while.
I've been saying that for a real long time,
Yeah, and
Chase.
you're right, because then you can both disconnect and like move on, whatever. But I also feel like what's sad is that on a human level, like there are a few people that have ever like brought me as many like laughs or like good times as Kate, because I dated her for a year and a half. And so I'm like, the idea of just cutting that off because you didn't work out romantically, I actually think that's weird. Because it's like, okay, we didn't get married. Like, can we not be friends? And I can see both sides where it's like, well, no, because you're going to fall back into the trap of whatever you fall into. So I think what's hard for me to like digest is that I really value certain friendships, and like Kate's one of them. It's the hardest thing for me is because like genuinely there's very few people out there that I just enjoy being around as much as Kate. And it's hard for me to be like, yeah, we're just never going to talk again because it's better. And maybe it is, but for my brain, I just have a hard time with that because I feel like on a human level, I'll always appreciate the fact that we had so many good times together. And despite the fact that it didn't work out, like most relationships, you're not going to get married to the person. So why are you using the logic of never talking to them again if it doesn't get to that point? I just feel like that leads to a lot of ended relationships, you know?
I think where I disagree with you on this. Like, we're never going to agree on this one because I would not want my husband to have the friendships that you have. And I don't
Sure.
think my husband would want to have me have friendships that you would have. But in this case, when like mental health is a huge part of it, like your guys' relationship is so up and down, it affects mental health. When do you finally go, I need to be the strong one and be like, we shouldn't talk anymore because the only thing that us talking is getting us is more pain, more misery. You're not having the fun
No,
talks. You're not having like
yeah.
the fun relationship that you had before. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah, it's
It's just
mostly
sad.
negative. No, you're totally right. And there is a time, And I think that we've reached that point,
Yeah.
as you know, recently, where it's like we need to just take a break. And I totally with you on that. I would like to say that eventually, should Kate find someone that she wants to, move on with, that she likes, and it kind of takes her interest in that way, I would love to think that we could still be cordial and maybe even friendly, but at the same time, maybe that's inappropriate. I don't
It
know.
is inappropriate.
Really?
Yes. But I think when you find your person, like you're saying, you had all these like great experiences together and no one makes you laugh like she did. It was so great. She's a great human. But when you find that person, you shouldn't even care about those old experiences. Shouldn't even be in your brain, in your mind, in your head. Like,
See, I disagree with that.
that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, we probably have a differing opinion on like,
Yeah.
and again, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like, do I think I want to get remarried for sure? But like, I obviously, I view the whole thing differently now. And, I do think that I think relationships personally, again, this is just me,
Yeah.
but I think relationships that like struggle with like, hey, I don't want you talking to that guy. Like, I always feel like those are not great
Yeah,
relationships.
no, there's an extreme on both
Where
ends
it's
for
just
sure.
like, all right, dude, like, and again, totally, it's not like, hey, you should just do whatever you want because my wife's there. That's not okay either. So yeah, I think it's hard to find a middle ground with that. But I would like to think that like I have a few female relationships now, and remove Kate from it because you're right. We need to take a break. But um, if I did start dating a girl and we made it exclusive, I would like to think that I could still maintain those friendships. And if I couldn't, I don't know if I'd want to have that relationship. Because I'd just be like, all right, well,
But
you
could you
know,
see why someone maybe wouldn't want you to? I mean, you've had at this point 6 emotional affairs.
give or
So,
take.
so like what would stop you from doing that again? And again and again and again? Like, do you consider yourself a faithful person?
Um, I mean, I think I'm trying, I don't think that my track record speaks to maybe being that, but I don't know. I think that I always use the logic of like what I like say I met a girl, we start dating, and she's like, "This has been my longtime homie." I'd just be honest, like, "Hey, have you guys ever gone like further than homie?" And if I'd trust her to tell me the truth. So if she's like, "No, it never has," I'd be like, "All good." So I don't want you to change any of that. Like, let's hang out bring him over. Like, and if she was like, yeah, there was a minute, where it was inappropriate or whatever, we were fucking around, I'd be like, okay, maybe just, for my sake, because you wouldn't want that, like, understand where I'm coming from. We come to a compromise on that. I don't know. That's how I'd work that out. And I'd kind of expect the same thing where it's just like, look, this has been my friend for 3 years now. It's not anything, it's not inappropriate, or whatever. We've never even had anything like that happen. And if she was like, well, I don't want you to talk to her anymore, I'd be like, why? Because she's a girl, and like I have guy friends that I've been friends with for 8 years. You're not really worried about that. So I just think that logic is
Should
skewed.
she be worried about that?
I mean, there's some allegations that maybe she should be worried about the guys and the girls. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so.
Okay. I just feel like your track record makes it hard for a woman to be comfortable with you being that close to another woman, to where you're hanging out with them and you're doing things with them and you're texting them and like that to me, for all of the strikes that you've had,
hmm
I wouldn't be comfortable with you being best friends with girls, especially hot girls who maybe like you too. If they're single,
Guess this means we won't be a good match, Josie.
I guess so. But like in the dating world, I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot of women who are single who would be okay with the dynamic that you're talking about.
I mean, that's
Unless they're like bisexual and down to be swingers. Which like
no, and
is that
you're
something you'd be interested in? Is like a swinging situation again?
no,
Like, do you
no.
want monogamy?
Yeah, I think if I'm going to be in a committed relationship, I do think I would want monogamy.
You want
But
monogamy.
I also think that what you're saying, I actually agree with. So like if I and it all matters like contextually because if I met a girl that I was just like so in love with or whatever,
You were a
I
simp
would
for?
bend a lot of these things to be like, you know what, whatever you say. So I
Okay.
think what I'm answering from is just like idealistic. But yeah, you're right. It just depends because if there was someone out there that maybe changed my mind on that, all good. Um, but at the same time, again, if she was like, "Hey, this is my guy friend. We've never had any." Maybe she doesn't have the strikes I do on her record, so that changes things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, again, this is a good combo because
Yeah, this is great.
there's a lot of nuance.
When you are in these toxic relationships like Kate, I think a lot of toxic relationships can be addicting. Like you get addicted to like the highs and the lows because when it's bad, it's bad. But when it's good,
Oh yeah.
oh, it's fucking incredible.
Yes.
So do you think you're addicted to toxic relationships? Like, do you think you're capable of having a healthy relationship?
Yeah, I think I am. I don't think I like the toxic relationships
You
that
don't.
much. I really don't think me and Kate were all that toxic until like the last 3 months. But people might disagree. No, I think that like I do have an argumentative personality. If I think something, I will say it.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
I feel like I've gotten better about the approach to it because it
Hmm.
used to be that was a struggle.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
100%. That's literally always been my biggest, I probably issue with
Flaw.
yeah. And so yeah, I think that I want to find a relationship that is that isn't toxic, and obviously there'll be things, but I do think what I've done for the first time ever is actually date. I never did that. I literally married the first girl I started dating, and I literally like hit the lottery with that because Miranda's the
Hmm.
coolest girl ever.
Ever.
But then even after that, I dated for like a month and a half, and then was committed to Kate. And so I think that like for me, it's more of like, hey, figure out whatever you like, man, because you've dated. Literally, I've only dated 4 girls, 5 girls, if I count high school girlfriends, exclusively in my life. So maybe I don't even really know what the relationship is that I want, or I haven't found it yet. I have no idea. I'm not really seeking that right now.
You're not seeking a wife.
No, I don't think so.
What
Uh,
do you look for in a wife? When, like, because you said you want to get married again.
yeah, I think
When
eventually.
when do you think you'll be in a state of mind where you're looking for a wife and not just like a fun time?
Well, for me, it's progression where it's like I think I'm looking for I could have a girlfriend
Yeah.
and I can handle that much. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. And so I think for me it's more like right now if I met the right girl and I wanted to date her, all good. And I think what I consider someone that I would marry, it'd be like a couple years, 3, 4 years, living together situation where it's like all of the stuff. I feel like I have all the data, all the intel on, and I still think all the pros outweigh the cons. And then do we want to get married? Do we want to elope? Do we want to fucking say that we're married and not actually get married? Like whatever it is. But yeah, I don't think it's just looking for a fun time because I am someone who just gravitates towards relationships. Like if I meet a girl I like, I just want to keep going out with her. Don't care about the rest. Until
Until you
later.
get bored.
Until yeah.
Until you get bored and then you're like,
which is
let's Snapchat.
which is a personal issue that I'm working through. But yeah, I think I could have a girlfriend. We just kind of go from there.
Okay, what's your type? Because I know your
Yeah.
track record. It's kind of all over the place.
People say I like blondes a lot due to what they see online. I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever been a hair color. It's been it's for sure been I think just yeah, like a chemistry. I do think that for me, I like it when girls have a kid or kids because it's just there's a mutual understanding of what parenting is like. Um, Not to say I wouldn't date someone that didn't have a kid, but I think that's just like a common ground that's really helpful when you're dating someone.
Mhm.
Like parenting schedule, if they've been divorced too, then everyone gets it.
Yeah.
I've had moments where I've been like wanting to take a girl out and she doesn't have kids, and like last minute something happens with the kiddos, and our Miranda's like, "Hey, I need you to watch the kiddos," and our sitter's not available, and I have to bail, and then she's like, oh, "You're an asshole," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I
You don't
guess
get it.
I'll be an asshole if it's me watching my kiddos." So yeah, for me, I think type is like mommy,
Okay, mamacita.
mamacita. Yeah, I don't know. I obviously as someone who is no longer religious, I think I'd have a hard time with someone who is deeply religious. Uh, just because they'd probably have a hard time with me. That's just a massive gap
Difference.
in
Yeah.
ideology. So I don't know. I don't have an easy time saying like what my vibe or my type is, I guess. I think it's kind of hard because it's just so case by case.
Would you want more kids?
I mean, I think I could have, it depends because if she has 2 kids or 1 kid, all of a sudden I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, now I have 3, or 4.
Yeah.
And so if it's 4, it's like, damn, 5 kids, that sounds like a lot. I don't know. I think it's so situational. Um, I'm not closed off to the idea of having another kid for sure. I think
Okay.
if it was, I think it'd be fun to have another child. I told Miranda we could have a platonic third, and
Oh.
she was like, she was like, no way.
I mean, you guys make really cute kids.
That's what I said. It's like they're cute, but at the same, she wasn't down for that.
Yeah,
So
I can see why. That would
I
be
know, I guess.
that would be a little rough. That'd be hard. So you're not opposed. Like it could
Not
happen, but
opposed.
like it's not
Locked
you're
in.
not like over here being like, I really just want one more kid,
No.
one more child with my last name. Like that's not.
No, yeah, I'd be okay if I never had another kid. Got a boy and a girl. I think they're the cutest kids. But again, if the relationship was one that I was like, I'd be down to have a kid with you. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So right now, what are you doing for work? Are you a sales bro still? Are you going to be a reality TV star? We've heard the rumors. We'll talk about it later. But what is Chase doing for work?
Yes, I after summer sales got into medical software sales. I did that for about 4 years at a couple different companies, and I've just been doing like an account executive sales role ever since. So I got a 9 to 5 and just work. I mean, the reality TV thing's funny because again, I was on 1.5 episodes of that, last season, and it wasn't scripted at all. Like the Halloween party was actually a shit show, as you know, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been fun to like dabble in that. I mean, I'm obviously not. It's a show about women, all those women, and so if there's parts that I can be involved in, like good, I think it's easy for me because again, I don't have I think that show is hard on relationships,
Yeah, but you don't
and I
have
don't have
that.
one, so
Yeah.
I kind of get the get out of jail free card.
With being on the show comes like negativity, which you experienced being in just one episode.
Mm-hmm.
Does that get to you? How do you handle trolls and the perception of you that's not really you? Because that gets to me. I know it gets to a lot of the girls, and I don't know if it's like a female versus male thing where females take it more harder. I don't know. But as a man, how do you handle the negativity online?
Yeah. I think years ago when Taylor came out online, there's a bunch of stuff said. Like obviously, would read the comments, and it was hard because I think everyone has this idea of who they are, and optic matters more than it should probably in the day and age that we live in. I think with time, I started to just not really care as much. I think I saw someone say that like we all know someone who's like, I don't care what anyone says, and I don't think that's the answer. I think it's just there's like a circle of like you should have 6 or 7 people that you like 100% trust their opinion, and they're your closest friends or family, and you should care what their opinion is of you. You should put a lot of weight into that because they know you intimately or probably since you were a kid or whatever. And then the layer outside of that is maybe like close friends that you hang around, like you care what their opinion is. It's not changing who you are, but at the same time, you put weight into it. And then as that circle gets further and further out, you should actually not give a fuck because they just don't know. They don't have all the data. So when it's like a Reddit comment or someone on Instagram saying that I'm whatever, I actually don't have I don't think that even has any sort of impact anymore because I'm just like, this person doesn't even know who I am. They have maybe this is the first post they saw. But I think as you get in, closer, if Miranda was like, hey, I think you did something wrong. This actually changed my opinion of you. And we've had that combo. That actually hurts because I'm like, okay, like your opinion matters. But no, I mean, like the trolls and stuff, I've had a hard time ever giving a whole lot of credence to that. And I think shout out to Taylor because she's always been so good about saying like, bad publicity is publicity. So I think maybe taking a page out of her book on that when it comes to online comments, and I see a fraction of what what she does, obviously, but yeah, I don't think it's ever been that problematic. If it's just someone that I don't think knows me.
Yeah. I always find it really interesting when men enjoy being on social media and enjoy posting and kind of being in the spotlight. I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but I feel like social media is for the girls and the gays. So like
That might be good.
so what like motivates you to post online and not be the center of attention, but sometimes like at the Halloween party, I know you had like your piece that you wanted to like share with Taylor in the class, but like a little bit of you is
Too far,
is
yeah.
also like, wait, I kind of want a little bit of the spotlight, a little bit of the fame. And that's not a bad thing. I do too. I like fame. I like
Sure.
attention. We all do.
Yeah.
But what motivates you to like be an influencer?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't consider myself an influencer. My Instagram was always pretty much just my kids.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I do feel weird posting like photo dumps now. I feel like that is kind of for the girls and the gays, but
Yeah.
that's another strike against me. It's all good. I think my TikTok's always been really sarcastic. Like
Yeah.
everything I do is pretty sarcastic. It's always been a joke. Yeah, I don't know. I don't consider myself like an influencer. I think that's an insult to people that do that, just because like I see what some of these girls do, how much time they dedicate to like editing videos and
Yeah,
the
you're not doing to
consistent
get ready
output.
with me.
And I'm not. And I'm like, hey, Mace, this video sounds funny. You want to do the sound of this? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. And then, because of the show and the proximity to some of these girls, it gets views. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know it's not that.
Yeah.
It is 100% my affiliation with Secret Lives,
Yeah.
and nothing else. But at the same time, I think what's fun
You're
about the
funny,
show.
Chase. I'll give you credit. You're funny.
Well,
Your content's funny. It's not just the girls. Like, I hate to give you a big head, but you are
sure.
funny. You
Well,
are
that's
charming.
that's nice of
You're
you.
charismatic. Your comments are funny.
Wow.
You're funny.
How was that?
Oh, that hurt a
Yeah.
little. But like, it's true. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. You're funny.
Well, I think what I like about the show though is that I feel like all the other husbands or boyfriends, I just feel like I am different. And I do like that because I think like Utah, I know there's like the whole Mormon trope, and I think a lot of those guys do a really good job of representing what like modern day Mormonism looks like in the landscape of, Gen Z, millennial, like all the stuff. But at the same time, I like that, like, I'm actually not anymore. And I grew up in it, and that's a big part of my life. But me and my brother, you wouldn't look at us and think that we were LDS. And I think that's cool because it just shows another element of like how you can exist in Utah without being this like Orthodox straight-laced Mormon and still really like it. Like I fucking love Utah. There's things about it that I don't love, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that's why I was like, oh, I don't mind hanging around this and whatever. If I'm on an episode or two, I'm obviously not going to be a reality TV star anytime soon. But I think it's fun to just be like a background dancer sometimes.
I agree. It's
You
a good
know?
time.
Yeah.
You get like the perks, but like not like the
Yeah,
bad
you don't get
stuff.
like all the heat.
Yeah, but you get to like enjoy and like be in the know and like get cool experiences
You
and
get
like
the
all
tea.
like no,
Yeah.
it's a good time. I get
Totally.
it. I get
Yeah.
it. Okay, so what goals do you have for yourself? Like what's next for you?
Whew, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I have goals when it comes to like career aspirations. Obviously, I want to eventually. I think companionship's a goal. I don't know what the timetable's like on that. I think what's really important to me right now is I have a really good relationship with a lot of people that I didn't used to. I don't know. I think yeah, goals are just I want to give Coco and Brooks a good life. I want them to grow up in an environment where they know mom and dad care about each other and do love each other, just they're not together anymore. Um, that's probably goal number one. And then beyond that, I still think I'm kind of in this mode of discovery where I'm like, who do I think I am? Do I like sales? Sure. I mean, but I also do I love it? No, So I don't know. I think I'm just in a fun phase of like I'm no longer married. I'm no longer tied to religious ideology. I think I'm just trying to figure out what makes me click, and I'm doing so by stumbling a lot, making a lot of mistakes, but I think that it's helped me. I mean, I think I'm the happiest version of myself that I've ever been right now.
Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. You guys know how much I love Cozy Earth sheets. They are so incredibly soft. Their pajamas are so soft. Their towels are so plush. Everything about Cozy Earth is the best. And the holidays are coming up, and it's time to start getting gifts for the special people in your life. And I always have the hardest time getting gifts for my parents and my in-laws. So Cozy Earth has become my go-to because everyone becomes obsessed once they switch to Cozy Earth, and they get 100-night sleep trial to make sure that they love them. But trust me, they will. But luckily for you, Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth, and right now you can stack my code WEEKLYTRASH on top of their site-wide sale for an additional 20% off, which gives you 45% off. That's huge. So you got to do it.
Reminder, if you do get a post-purchase survey, make sure you tell them that Weekly Trash sent you. Again, the code is weeklytrash at cozyearth.com for 45% off, okay? It's time to wrap the ones you love in the luxury of Cozy Earth. And thank you, Cozy Earth, for sponsoring today's episode.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Shed, the easiest way to start your weight health journey. With Shed, it only takes 3 minutes to get started. You'll fill out a quick online form with your goals and health history, and their medical team will create a personalized treatment plan just for you. Everything happens online. No doctor's offices, no pharmacy lines. Your FDA-approved medication ships straight to your door. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. Shed pairs you with a dedicated member success team to help you track progress and stay motivated along the way. Clinically studied treatments, no insurance required, and zero hassle. Get $100 off your first month by using the link in the show notes. Shed is making health simple, effective, and actually doable. Thank you, Shed, for sponsoring today's episode.
And that's not a knock on anyone that came before, but I think, yeah, I'm just kind of learning who I am and what I want. And it's not the conventional route, you know. Me and my brother, we up in a townhome together, and I've loved that because I'm closer to him than I've probably ever been. And yeah, so I mean, it's probably a long-winded nothing burger of an answer that I just gave
No,
you.
it was
But
great.
I don't really
I
know.
appreciated it. But I liked, you said you're the happiest you've ever been. Have you ever struggled with your mental health, like throughout your life, or have you been a pretty happy person?
I mean, I think yeah, I think I've had moments where I was struggling, not to the extent of where I think people. I never have been on antidepressants.
Okay.
I've never gone to maybe to that extent, but yeah, I think there's been ups and downs. I remember after the divorce, there was like a month or two where I was pretty down because, again, you're like mourning the idea of what, you know, because I always did envision that we'd be married forever. It's just kind of what I don't know
Yeah.
anyone that goes into a marriage thinking it's going to end. So that was hard, but again, quickly was able to realize like I wasn't the best husband, but what I can be is like maybe the best co-parent. And I do actually take a lot of pride in that because my parents don't do that. And
Yeah. A lot
it
of parents
sucks.
don't.
Yeah, a lot of parents don't. It's like obviously there's circumstances where relationships end in such a bad way that that's probably not an option, but yeah, just doing the best to be whatever I can be to Miranda to be an asset, no longer a liability.
Have you ever done therapy?
Yeah, I've dabbled.
Dabbled.
I probably should go more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is therapy.
This
Except
is
except I
therapeutic.
can't give like actual professional advice. I can just tell you, go no contact with Kate.
Which actually ended up being probably the right advice.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Maybe I should go get my license and I can be a
yeah.
therapist.
Well, I think anyone can nowadays is
Yeah.
the thing. That's my biggest qualm with therapy is I feel
Yeah.
like,
Anyone can.
yeah.
Anyone can say whatever.
And I'm like, I don't need that advice. And then they
Yeah.
want you to go forever. And I don't know. I think it's a little bit of
A sham, a little.
sometimes I'm sure there's great therapists.
Yeah.
I need to find one.
I've had great therapy, but I've also had therapy where I'm like, you're just validating everything I'm
Yes.
saying. And I need like
And then it
you
gets
to tell me how to
weaponized.
fix it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. So no, I'm pro therapy. I need to do that more. I need to find a good therapist. So I don't know.
Okay.
Let us know where
Let us
those
know.
are.
Tag your therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question before I let you leave, because I'm curious. If you could tell 21-year-old Chase anything, that's freshly married Chase, what would it be?
Sheesh.
Like, would you take back anything you've done? Or do you feel like it's gotten you to where you are? Like, there's no regrets. There's nothing that you would have changed.
Definitely regrets. There's also things that I think I only learned through experiencing them.
Right.
So I wouldn't take that away. It'd be more of a mindset than like an action. I think I'd be more like, I think if I could take my mindset right now on, because again, 21-year-old Chase was the most opinionated motherfucker ever.
Okay.
And he also wanted to tell you why you were wrong if you disagreed. And that's always been something where I do think that I love to like take a side in an argument. That's why I have loud political views, or like, you know, religiously was all the way in and then all the way out is because I do have the personality to pick a side. And then I like to be able to substantiate my side. So I like to get into the details. And then I feel like when I was young, I'd be able to tell people like, this is actually why you're wrong. And I think what I've learned the hard way and through experience is that like that is just as bad as the person on the other side that's trying to tell you that you're wrong. So I think more than anything now, I think I exist in a place where it's like I do have my opinions, but I no longer try to impose those on anybody else. The way that I look at life or relationships or the afterlife, if you know, if there is one, is just how I look at it. And I don't want anyone else to buy into my thinking anymore. I mean, I'll share my opinion if they ask, but I think I'm just so comfortable and okay now with people thinking differently. And that was something that 21-year-old Chase was so terrible at, was just being like, "Oh no, you think differently than me." And I'd be like, "Well, let me tell you why you're wrong." So I think that's actually brought me a ton of peace because through all of those arguments where I would try to like strong arm someone into coming over to my side, first of all, it never worked. And then second of all, it just left me with like this angry feeling of like how you feel when you get in an argument. And I think that I was actually pretty unhappy a lot of the time because I was trying so hard to like make people think that I was right. And I've actually think maybe just through being wrong a lot and realizing that like it doesn't really matter. Everyone has their own opinions. I have just become so much happier and there's like way less weight to everything that I care about because I don't need to change anyone's opinion. You know, I think what I think and that's just good enough for me. I've been able to use that in parenting too. Brooks, obviously, who's like the most curious kid ever. Your son's like right around the same age. He asks me right now about like God. He'll be like, yeah, like a temple, that's God's house. And I'll be like, yeah, dude, like some people think that. And I like to say some people because then he's like, well, do you believe that? And I'll be like, well, I don't, but I know that your lolly does. And like, what do you think, dude? Like, Brooks, what do you think about that? And he's like, um, he's like he's all the way in on it. He's like, no, I think it's God's house. And I'm like, cool, maybe it's God's house and I'm wrong. And that just gets to, I'm crying about this, but I think as a kid, the reason I was so opinionated is because my parents, and it wasn't my dad's fault because he grew up without a dad, but he always kind of was right. And I felt like that was something that I just had a hard time with because I was just like anyone else. Like you realize when you grow up that adults are just kids with like a driver's license, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he was wrong a lot. And so when we'd have these arguments, it was actually, and then he would kind of end it with like, well, I'm the dad. And I say, so, that's how, because I say so. And I fucking hated that because as a kid, I was like, okay, but you're wrong. And so that's why I think I became that. And so now I just want Brooks to like, I want him to form his own opinions. And if he wants to go to church, he wants to be religious, he wants to be Mormon, like all good. Like I want that for him. I'll never be the type that's like, no, dude, you don't do that because dad says. And that way, I think that will, like, Brooks will be the truest version of himself. And I don't know. That was a long winded answer, but I just think that I finally got to the point where I stopped trying so hard to, like, make people think I was right. But it's just because I always wanted to feel more heard as a kid. So, fuck, I'm struggling.
Oh, thanks for sharing that, Chase.
Yeah, but if I could just put that into my brain at 21, I think I would have been able to salvage a lot of relationships that I think I burned bridges on. And so I think I've gotten pretty good at saying sorry because I've had to, but I wish that I didn't have to and I could just go back and remove a lot of those errors before they happened.
Do you think any of your siblings have that same mindset of like wanting to be right? Like, or do you feel like because you were the oldest, it was a
Yeah.
little different?
So if you saw Mace and you got to know my brother Mace, he is 100% the opposite of me. Like he has no rigid opinions. And I actually
Okay.
think that is probably because of what he saw me arguing with my parents about nonstop. And his, like, my conflict resolution is like, if someone has a problem with me, as you saw at the Halloween party, like, I want to talk about it right now. And if we escalate voices, all good. Uh, Mason is the type where, like, if conflict arises, he leaves. He'll just leave the room. And I remember being like, oh, it's so weird that your personality's like that. And I was like, it's not a personality trait. It's literally a trauma response to probably seeing his older brother and his parents just yelling at each other and arguing all the time. And him being like, this sucks. Like, it doesn't even matter who's right. Like, everyone loses. So, yeah, it's pretty funny to watch him and how he handles situations because it could not be more opposite than me. And I think being able to track it all the way back to like what produced it is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I think it's all because of the way that, we were raised. And again, I hate when people are like, oh, my parents did this wrong because they didn't have Chat GPT at their hands like I do
Yeah,
to use.
they didn't even have a
They
calculator.
had nothing. They literally grew up in the Stone Age compared to us.
Yeah.
So that's not an age joke, Mom. But yeah, I just yeah, I have a lot of things I wish I could go back and fix that were just because of my mindset about being right.
I think a lot of people have that mindset though too. I know I do. It's like it's an ego thing too. Like
It is.
you want to be right, and but it's kind of fun arguing with people like that. Like that's why I like arguing with you.
I
Like
know, it is
it's like a
fun.
good time. Like it's fun. But it's only fun if you don't take it so personally and so seriously.
Yes.
And I think
And I
when
don't
I
think
was younger, I think I did. I took it really personal.
Oh, me too.
I was like, "Oh, you don't believe what I believe?
Oh, I'd
Fuck
like
you."
people significantly less because of a disagreement. And I don't think apathy is the answer either. Like, I still have my opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, being able to leave and be like, oh, I gave my 2 cents, they gave me theirs, and we didn't change our minds, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. And it's actually a hard thing to do. So I think it's a skill.
I think it definitely is mature. You got to
Yeah.
mature into that for sure. And some people don't, but sounds like you are. So congrats.
Trying. Sounds like we should
Congrats.
keep arguing then. 'cause
Yeah, it's
something we both
it's
like.
fun. It's fun to have a little banter every once in a while. But thanks for opening up, Chase. Thanks for letting me dumpster deep dive you. Was this everything you thought it would be, or what did you expect?
No, I've been a fan
Was
for
I
a
nicer?
while.
Was I nicer? Was I harder than you thought I was going to be? Like what?
No, I thought you were great. I mean, there's obviously hard questions in there, and I really I've watched a lot of these and like the show a lot. I think it's really cool because it's a lot of the time how it started out was like hyper local.
Yeah.
And it was cool because all the people that I'd see, there's a lot of them that I didn't really know that well, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
heard about them, and it's just cool to get like a background on who they are.
Is that me? I think
it's
that's me. Should I look?
Give it a look. Let's see. Might be something.
Oh man.
Might be. Well, who is it?
It's spam.
Oh,
Spam is ruining our interview. Are you fucking kidding?
Spam's calling me a lot lately too.
Oh my gosh, they want their money. I'll pay you back
You got the
later.
extended car warranty.
Yeah, they want me to pay probably Brooks's bill from his NICU experience 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, don't do
Golly,
it.
I'm not gonna
Never do
answer.
it.
I'm not gonna pay for it. So
Never pay
fine.
that.
It's gonna be fine. But yeah, this was good.
It was good. No, I loved it. And again, it's really cool to see, you know, the background of people and who they are, because you just get a certain version of them online, no matter how much they do a day in their life or whatever. So I think it's really fun to watch. We obviously gave the podcast thing a run. Didn't last very long. So
Yeah,
I
your
got
lame
respect.
podcast.
Yeah, our lame pod. So I got respect for anyone that's kept it going as long as they have.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
How many downloads were your episodes getting? Because you, here's the
Not that
thing,
many.
you have the clout though. Like you have the story. You have.
Sure.
So like I feel like people were probably really interested.
It was too many
in it.
people. It was like 6 people.
Yeah,
Which is tough.
You're trying to give like Barstool's energy.
We were, and it was just not. And again, everyone has to kind of be okay with that. And I think eventually people weren't. But then, yeah, there wasn't a ton of downloads, man. Like it was just, whenever we mentioned Mom Talk, that episode would bang, which is why I think we veered into that too much. But you know what? It died a quick death.
Only dads?
Only dads.
Was that your idea or was that someone else's idea for
It was
the name?
Tate's idea. And if he wanted to start it up, he could. He had like 3 years to do it.
And you said, taking it. Do you talk to Tate?
Yeah, I actually saw him at the gym recently. We talked about it. I just say that because I remember Taylor was like, "That's actually Tate's idea." And I was
I
like,
heard it was Tate's
well,
idea. That's why I asked.
"Great, where is it? Was it copyrighted? Like where?" He could have ran with it, you know. But I don't think Tate would even want to start a podcast. But
No.
it was his original idea, and then years later, Braden was like, "Should we do it?" So again, we gave our podcast thing a run. We were coming for weekly trash, and it died before it could get anywhere near.
Hey,
it.
a lot of
So,
people are trying to come for
we
it.
tried, didn't make it.
I think people think podcasting is like really easy, really fun. You make a lot of money. Ain't it?
I know.
It
Well,
ain't it.
you don't exactly help that out by the lifestyle and everything. So maybe you're the one to look for that miss.
Maybe. But maybe you start it back up.
I actually.
And instead of only dads, it's only dad. The
People-
only dad
there-
podcast.
The only thing is that would be a really bad thing. People don't need to take advice from me. But I will say that I think it'd be fun to do a podcast with someone. I won't say who.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would give a good dynamic of 2 things. But also,
Okay.
I don't think that maybe it won't materialize.
You know what I see for you? And I just want to predict it right now because when it happens, just like how I predicted that Macy would write a book or like I predict things. Okay. I have like psychic abilities.
American Idol.
I think you're going to be the next Harry Jowsey.
Really?
I do.
Oh, I would love that.
I think you're going to be the next Harry Jowsey. And I have
Oh
some
my
beef with Harry Jowsey that
gosh.
he doesn't know about.
Oh,
He doesn't know who
really?
I am, but I know things that he's done and I don't like him for it.
Well,
But I see you being the next Harry Jowsey.
that would mean I'd have to re-download Snapchat.
You would have to re-download Snapchat. You're about to get mega famous, mega rich, and a major
Wow.
fuckboy.
Oh, these are
So, but I will try to keep you humble.
yeah.
Don't you worry.
Put that out there though.
But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And what
That's
I
incredible.
know, I just feel it. I feel it in my bones. So when that does happen, I will be clipping this.
yeah,
And
100%.
I will take all the credit.
Oh
for
my
that.
God. Literally, that's
I don't
the
know if this
nicest
is a compliment or not, but
the
like that's what I see for you.
nicest thing you've ever said to me. And
Okay, cool.
I met him at Tao like in January. Wasn't in the state of mind to say hi to me.
Okay.
I was the most sober one to give you any idea of where he was. But yeah, Harry Jowsey. Okay, I'm going to put that on my vision board
I see it.
for next year.
I see it. Next year, you're going to be coming back. I'm going to force you. When you get that famous, I will be using your clout.
Look,
You will be coming back. We
not.
will recycle you.
I'll come
and
back.
you'll tell us all about whatever crazy shit you've been doing. But
Hey, maybe at that point in time, yeah, I'll be a little bit more bought into the idea of a relationship, though. Maybe not.
maybe not. I don't see it.
We'll
But
see.
maybe.
We'll
We'll
give it
see.
a run.
We'll see. Well, thank you so much, Chase, for coming. I know the girls and the gays, they love you. So thanks for finally giving the people what they want. I mean, I guess I should be saying thank you because I finally gave you guys what you wanted and what he wanted. So you're welcome.
Oh, thank you to you.
But this was so much fun. Come
Had a
back in a
blast.
year.
Thanks
We'll
for
see where life's
letting me
at.
take out the trash, Josie. Appreciate it.
Take out the trash anytime, Chase. See good, do good. And like we said, don't forget to take out the trash.